if you jump down to number 9, so this is sort of similar to the old process, but the reconsideration committee, the one I just talked about, the new composition, but they have three choices. One is to retain the resource. Second is to relocate the resource to a different grade level or designate it as a teacher resource. So that's in one bullet. Or remove the resource from the library collection. We're also suggesting that the committee basically want a more formalized process. So we're recommending they follow Robert's rules. That will ensure that there are motions and minutes and that type of thing. And then we're also recommending that a vote of 2/3 of that committee must determine the decision. We want to set a high bar for it, if that makes sense. So within 30 days of the initial determination made by the committee will issue a written report to the superintendent detailing the reasons for their recommendation to retain, relocate, or remove the work in question. The report shall also include the original complaint. So we just want to make sure that there's a formal report coming out of that. There's also some things in here that are interesting that says, like, if there's a dissenting opinion within the committee, those reasons for the dissension should be summarized in the report, which was an ad from our committee. And then any member who might have a dissenting opinion may also include their written dissent if they so choose. Superintendent collects that report. And number 12, superintendent, and this is similar to the old policy, will make the final decision based on the recommendation of the reconsideration committee within 14 school days of receiving the report and notify the complainant. Here's where it really changes dramatically. The complainant has a right to appeal the superintendent's decision within 14 days of receiving said notification. In that case, the complainant shall write or email the school committee chair stating the basis of their appeal. Again, this is the biggest change, and I think the most important change, which we talked about in the immediate aftermath of last year's issue, which is that, that we had to build in an appeal process, partly because we're a public body, right? And there's some level of accountability for both the district and the complainant, I think, if you're going to make a serious challenge. So that appeal is, I think, the most important addition to this policy. So the complainant can appeal, but also, if the superintendent's decision leads to the removal of library material from general circulation, the school committee will be notified of the final decision at its next regularly scheduled meeting. At that time, any North Attleboro resident or parent or guardian may appeal that decision within 14 days, right? So we're giving the complainant the right to appeal, and they're going to appeal, obviously, if they didn't get their the response that they were looking for. But this is sort of the other side of that coin, right? So let's say we decide to remove something from the circulation, we notify the school committee at a public meeting, anybody in the community can then appeal. And then we begin the appeal process. When the school committee would receive an appeal, within 30 days, they'll review the report, they'll review any comments from the superintendent, they'll review any supporting documentation, and all this happens at a regularly scheduled meeting, so in public. Which, again, in terms of accountability, I think, and transparency, it's really important.